All right, welcome, one and all. It is Rivals 2 Eve. The betas are
Mm,
done. The demo's done. We are less than 24 hours away from the game, and we are so excited to break down all the deep dives, the esports scene, and just about anything Rivals 2 related. I'm Garrett, aka Gary in theory. I'm joined by Matt, aka Menderbug. Matt, I mean, how are you feeling?
I feel great. I feel like pensive. I'm excited. I'm thinking about how far the game has come so far, and it's day -1. It's Rivals Day Eve. I just had a very exhausting week of going to concerts and flying like 10 hours, and I've been working, and I finally got a day off. That was today, and it's the only
Well, no
day
one cares
for
about
dude. It's
that
the
because
only day
Rivals
for the rest
2
of time.
is almost here. We are so close, and I'm so excited for the game. The demo this past week was been just phenomenal to play. I got to play a little bit, not as much as I would have liked, and it sounds like not as much as you would have liked either. Is that what you were alluding to before I
I
so epically cut you off?
Yeah, I played like I was here and there all around the states. I played enough to lose a handful of elo,
Okay.
but also enough to place the prestigious gold rank.
Oh,
So
well, I too
it can't be too
placed the
bad.
placed the prestigious gold rank, but I stopped just before the point where I started to lose elo. I was just on the up. Not, I'm not trying. I'm trying to brag. Just to you, not to
Yeah,
anyone at
yeah,
home.
it's
Just to
okay. I'm
you.
better than you. I have
But
better
I mean,
results
the
than you,
ranked
so it's
mode
fine.
was not even supposed to be out by launch time. That stretch goal was not even reached in the Kickstarter, but yet they managed to deliver this ranked light, as they were calling it. Kind of rudimentary, but honestly, I mean, I thought it was great. It got me. It was just to have a number assigned to my skill rating just
Your
made me
self worth, yeah,
care
it
so much
feels
more.
really good.
And if I may, just real quick, I love that it's
Please,
just an elo number. It's not like RR 0 out of 100 before rank up, and then you can go over or like under. Like I love that it's just a number.
yeah.
I don't
Yeah,
know.
it's actually
What are there?
more
Yeah.
standard. I think it's actually not that crazy. I agree with you.
I-
Ranked is great. We weren't expecting to get it. I love that I get more XP for ranked, winning
yes.
ranked than anything else because I'm addicted to the character progression system. I'm
Oh my
so
god, it's so
hopelessly,
good.
I just like want to keep loading up another to get more XP to level up my guys. It has me playing. I'm like obsessed with Claren, but it
Yep.
has me playing so many characters. My Loxodon is sick. I counterpick it all the time because kids don't know what they're doing against the meatballs. My
This is
meatballs are
true.
unlike anything else.
I mean,
So
I think you're right. The progression system is was such a cool addition. I did not think I would be into it that much, but just leveling up the characters that I play and also trying to get the rewards from the ones I don't, just made me like just want to spend more time in the game. I was already spending planning on spending tons of time in, but it wasn't just the game itself that felt good to play. Because the demo was a resounding success. We have a graphic here that the Aether Studios team tweeted out just earlier. 15
oh
million, almost 16 million
oh
minutes played, million games, 118,000 unique players. That's crazy.
a milli games. Okay, listen. I'm a numbers guy. A lot of you out there ain't good with numbers. Now you look at these numbers, you go like, "That's a lot of numbers. I don't really know what to make." These are some damn good numbers. 118,000 unique players for an indie
Yeah,
platform fighter is insane. Platform fighters as a genre are very like it's very tight knit. It's very small actually
definitely.
compared to most other genres out there, even like
Hmm.
fighting games. So this is a really huge number. It seems like the demo, like offering it for free, was successful. Everyone's coming
Yes.
out to give it a shot, play their guy. And I'm really looking forward to launch tomorrow to see what the
Yes.
numbers are
Oh
looking
my god.
like. Keep it
I
going.
think having this next fest coincide with the like a couple days before their launch, so it gave them like an excuse to show the game off for free just before launch, which I think has been huge. I mean, we've seen that just empirically exposed more people to the game because this is the all-time peak player count for Rivals of Aether, the original. I love the
Two eight
game,
two eight.
but yeah, 2.8 thousand. The demo peaked at 8,412. I
Okay.
mean,
So
that
for
is
like
so sick.
I'm a numbers guy. Let me break it down. That
Yeah,
means
yeah.
Rivals
Thank you.
2 peak
Mhm.
player base is roughly 35 times the peak player base of Rivals 1. these are
Man,
staggering numbers.
Matt,
You should
I know you're the numbers guy, but can you just double check that for never mind. Yeah, no, 35 it's crazy. So many more eyes on the game, which is just so so exciting to me. And like we've seen players from like Melee, Project M, Ultimate, probably some other fighters too,
mm.
just talking about how much they love the game.
This
Amsa
AMSA tweet.
can't breathe without Rivals of Aether II. Oops, spoilers.
He
Um,
loves it, man. We love it. It's the
we all love
coordinate
it.
of plat fighters. It's easy to play. It feels great.
Yes.
It's pretty remarkably well balanced right now. Um,
Yeah.
it's really great. My buddy and I have been calling this game Melee on purpose, which is just like Melee's great, but
Mhm.
it was an accident. And so when you give someone the tools to do it on purpose, that's pretty sick. That's
Yeah,
pretty sick. It's
I think
super
it's
sick.
really cool. We were talking earlier about the progression system
Hmm.
and how much we enjoyed that, but I think that segues very nicely into our next topic here, which is Rivals too cheap? Because it seems like much of the player base would think so, which is pretty rare for a any game nowadays.
Yeah. This whole popular online, especially online multiplayer games,
Yeah,
have
live
kind of
service games as they'd be
yeah,
called.
live service games have slipped into this sort of meta, I guess, of being free to play with in-game purchases, whether it be like
Mm,
battle pass, loot boxes, skins, emotes, taunts,
yeah,
whatever, blah blah blah. And so to see a game like this, which is like it's a live service game, that's very
mhm,
important. They need to pay to keep the servers online for
yeah,
upkeep. So having it be just $30 up front, and then all of the major content, including characters and
game
uh
modes.
game modes, those being free forever, is really crazy. But of course,
It's
I
so
think,
refreshing.
yeah, it's definitely not predatory. I think it works really well. It makes me feel really good about giving Dan money, as I'm going to do,
Oh
um
yeah,
when all the skins come out and all the events and whatnot. I
I
want
will
Dan
be
bucks.
wheelbarrowing in dollar bills to give to Aether Studios directly just to get those sweet Dan bucks. But
Okay.
no, I think you're right. Like, yes, it does have microtransactions. It does have its own like premium currency, but it's not for any gameplay thing, anything gameplay related. Even like future like story mode, like they could easily make that paid DLC, and I would not bat an eye. They still could, honestly, um, because that's just so much more content for the game. But like they said, they're not. All the characters going to be free, and not to mention, A, things are pretty well priced in my opinion, and B, you can earn the premium currency in game for free,
That's
which
true. That's
is kind of
huge.
crazy.
That's something that I think was a big plus side of the demo. They made it so
Yeah,
you can't pay money for Dan bucks or ether dollars, ether bucks
ether.
just
I think
yet.
ether bucks. There's ether bucks
Um
and ether coins.
okay, yeah. They made it you can't buy
I
those
like
yet.
Dan
I
bucks.
think one of the reasons for that was so that players who tried the game for free didn't spend money on
Yep.
currency and then have to also buy the game after they already spent money. Which makes sense, but it also gave everyone a really nice test run of like how easy or difficult it is to actually earn this currency in game by playing the game. And I am so addicted to earning it. I've been buying so many icons and emotes.
Yeah.
Truthfully, I don't have any skins yet, because I keep cashing out before I can get that
I got the
much.
spooky
But
arcane.
yeah,
Um, and that was about it. They also have done Twitch drops already, which got you
yeah, yeah,
a
yeah.
hundred free Dan bucks, $1 worth, I think.
Yeah. Are we
With some other free
okay? We're not on
skins.
Twitch. I was gonna ask if we were streaming Rivals 2 technically.
No, yeah, not
Yeah,
technically
okay,
streaming. I don't know. I don't think
sure.
they would really like that, but
It's all good.
you know,
It's all good.
it is in fact all good. Now we were talking about just now story mode.
Mhm.
Now that's supposedly not going to be coming for a while, but we do have this handy dandy roadmap
Yeah.
from Ether Studios and Off Brand Games detailing what's going to be coming here in the future. Obviously, we see in the Beyond section, Story Mode Chapter 1, which very well, if the game's successful enough, they can hire back that Story Mode team that they had to lay off despite the success of the Kickstarter and the off-brand partnership. They just couldn't afford to keep the Story Mode team on while they were focusing on the game itself. So that could come earlier. Right now, it's beyond 2025, but we do have some stuff in the immediate future that's pretty exciting. We got the Halloween skins, which will be in a bundle. I'm sure we'll talk about those more when they come out, but also we get some events coming up. Didn't even
Mm.
mention those, I think, really in the
Yeah, they
uh
super didn't
yeah.
mention it. It had me and a lot of people being like, "What is Rivals 3D?" And I didn't know
Yeah.
until you told
I
me
I do have I
before we
do
went
have
live.
the inside scoop from the
Okay.
Pirate Software interview stream to however many thousand viewers. That Rivals 3D, get this, guys. It's just the name of the event. That's it. It's just the name of the,
Yeah.
the first event, which are really cool because they're just free, essentially like free battle passes, and the stuff's not exclusive. It'll go into your store,
Oh, yeah, it goes
um,
into the going
and the
into the
store
shop
is
forever
permanent. Like
is
it's not
so
it's not a
good.
rotating store with the premium currency. It's just the coins, which is fantastic. But also, we got menu updates coming up next. I didn't really think about that, but the jump from the betas to the demo in terms of UI was really cool, and I mean, it looks very similar to the classic Rivals of Aether
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
one, just with the Rivals 2 character select photoshopped underneath.
Looks very good. Looks a lot better. Which I
Mhm.
mean, we knew they were gonna, polish it
Yeah,
up as the game came close to release. So it's good to see it well on its way, looking great. We got 4 new
four
characters
new
every
characters.
single year
Yeah,
for the
they talked
foreseeable
about
future.
how they want to split up the character launches because obviously we gotten um, mostly returning fighters in the betas and the demo. Two new ones in Fleet and Loxodon, both characters already in the Aether universe, the world of Aether.
Mm.
But they've talked about how they're going to do like 50% returning fighters, 25% um, characters from the Aether universe that aren't in Rivals yet, and then 25% brand new. Now I have a bit of a scoop, also
Tell
from that
me,
Pirate Software interview. That is,
tell me.
the the studios of Aether team, Aether Studios rather, they've been known to spread misinformation intentionally, but entertain me for a moment here.
Okay.
So Pirate Software
Yes.
asked Dan Fornace,
Hmm.
studio lead at Aether
I
Studios,
know that
and
guy. Yeah.
George Edelis Rogers,
Hmm.
um, who they're maining in Rivals 2. And Dan said, "Oh, I play the newest character, whatever political answer.
Who cares? Yeah.
Yeah, who cares?" And then George said, "I've been playing the heavies. I've been playing Crag and Loxodon, but my main isn't in the game yet." And then he never said the words Edelis, the word Edelis. But what he did say, and I quote, "Winter is coming, and I will get to play my original character." Now, what does this mean? Does this mean Edalus is coming quarter one 2025? Does it
Dude,
mean Edalus is
come
coming in the
on.
winter event in like a month? Probably not. Does it mean nothing at all? And he's just saying right, Edalus will come eventually. I don't know.
Man, that's so dude, I only get a couple months of my favorite game ever without Edelis. Bro. Like, come
I
on.
should say
I
that I was an Edalus main in Rivals One.
yeah.
Some called me a one trick. I was. Um,
No.
yeah, I was a one trick until Orcane got revealed for Rivals 2, then I started learning him. Um
Okay.
and then when I originally picked up the game and started like putting a lot of time into it, and then Matt and I would play, and I would play Edalus, and then Matt would want to kill himself. So he's probably
Mm.
not looking forward to this, and I think a lot of maybe players coming from other games might be a little caught off guard
Bro,
by
whatever. I
Edalus's
have a shield
shenanigans.
now. I'm gonna whoop your ass. I have a shield now. I'm like super not worried about it. I can
Okay,
grab you
okay,
now, dude. It's
that's
whatever. And don't
that's
say I could
valid.
grab you before because
You
I
know,
played Claren because I didn't want to. So let's move on. And
yeah, let's. We've got more events coming. 12 new events once a month. Themed rewards. I see the Sunny Maple is already in the game.
yeah,
Um, but the Pool Noodle Claren, this looks awesome.
that's kind of hype.
I'm
That's
super
kind of hype.
excited. There's gonna be like custom skins every event. I think the art team is working really hard at either studios. I think they're doing a great job. Um, then ranked rewards and updates. Obviously, I think earlier we mentioned that this beta or this demo rather was at a ranked light mode, which will continue for a little bit until we get the like fully fledged ranked with rewards, that sort of thing. Very exciting. Crew battle mode. I don't know what
Mm.
that exactly would entail. We
Yeah,
just have the name, but
we do just have
that's
the
usually
name.
fun.
I can tell you as a avid crew battle enjoyer, in Smash Brothers, I anticipate this solving the issue. It's not really like an issue. It's sort of become like a cultural thing. But in crew battles, if like we're both at one stock and I beat you, and now I have one stock, you send in your next guy. I
Mhm.
have to SD twice at the beginning of the next game
Yeah,
because I only
yeah.
have one stock. And then it sort of becomes a cool thing because then the crowd like counts down on the timer when you actually start. It's very silly, but this is one of the things I expect. Like, and I'm happy I get to expect either studios to take a more modern approach and be able to streamline the whole process so we can use a real
Yeah.
timer. Because in crew battles, you always have to set the timer to 99
I
minutes,
mean,
and
we've
it's
already
like,
seen that
yeah.
with like built-in RPS, which I thought was
Yeah,
really
yeah.
cool in
Oh,
tourney
you know
mode.
what I hope, dude? They
Yeah.
haven't talked about this at all. But in Rivals 1, you could money match with the coins. Dude,
Yes.
I want a money
Oh
match
my
like
god.
so badly.
They better.
Oh,
And
can
that's
you
even
imagine?
better. I hope they do it correctly because in Rivals 1, I think it's still the case where if you money match somebody,
Yeah.
you just get the coins back if you win. And if you lose, they just disappear. So you don't go up if
Wait,
you
you
win,
don't
you
go
just
up
get
at
it back.
all?
No.
Wait, that's
It's
so.
it's been bugged at least since I started playing in
The
2022.
coins don't do anything in that
They
game,
don't. They
so.
no. They don't. You can get pets, which they do have here. Or the
Oh my
buddies rather.
god, sound
Bottom
off for
right.
the buddies.
I miss my man Philip, the little sheep.
Oh, I missed the little cannonball guy.
Yeah.
And the little Clarin that meows when you taunt.
Claire, and there's Catnip Bandito. I think is
Yeah,
one of them. There's a lot of fun ones. I'm excited for that to return, and
yeah,
another way for me to give Dan my money. But they also, some smaller things: training mode improvements, lobby improvements, control improvements, that sort of thing. Who
yeah,
cares? Me a little bit. Rivals One had a great training mode. Rivals Two already has a great training mode, but it could be even cooler. Esports Season One, that's really exciting
yeah,
because uh, Rivals already cares a lot about their esports scene. They do RCSs. They work with event TOs to give things like skins for larger events, and even just get. They talked how they like want to get like local scenes, like just discounted copies of the game in bulk. But
yeah.
more excitingly than any of that is they're partnered with off-brand studios with off-brand, who of course has Ludwig, who has done his own events, but has a lot of the old Beyond the Summit team and the old BTS studios. So we could see this could be
Yeah.
very exciting for Rivals Esports.
I've heard it rumored. I've heard murmurs of like the inevitability of a rival summit type event.
Yeah, I know they've already talked
Super
about
cool.
off-brand studios have talked about like they're not going to be ever use like the Summit name ever again.
Yeah.
Leave that as with its legacy, but there will be a lot of Summit like events. I mean, even the image in the roadmap is of the match, not a Rivals event, a melee and ult event. Technically, it didn't Ludwig play ult
Oh, the
against?
match? Yeah, okay. You
Yeah,
said the match. I thought yeah. The first to 10, Cody Schwab and Zane.
yeah.
Which off brand did put on.
Hmm.
So yeah, we're gonna get a whole
That's
lot of
exciting.
cool stuff like that. Very exciting.
And then, of course, the Beyond. We already mentioned story mode, new stages. They also said this could come earlier if the game's successful enough. I hope so. I also hope they get rid of
I like that
Hyperborean
stage
Harbor.
thing.
They
I
can just leave
don't.
it.
I like poning noobs in silver when I drop down there, and I really it's one of my favorite things to do because they all
Yeah.
jump and then you hit them and then you win.
Yep.
Like it's so free. But like
Yeah.
yeah, I hate
But
having to
then,
ban it against Crag. So anyways, keep it
amen.
pushing.
Amen. Custom colors is something they've talked about. They probably make it behind Ether coins. I know that they said that. I think there was also in the Pirate Software
Yeah,
Q&A
that would make
stream.
sense.
Console launch is actually sooner than we might expect. The only thing they really talked about waiting for, um, more so than just porting it, was the having a like definitive edition of the game. They want to have all the features, like all ranked mode, hanging out fighters, and some other like core features that aren't in the game yet that they want to have with the console release, which is, I mean, exciting. I think there's going to be a lot more players on, a lot more casual players on consoles, and then probably a lot of players on Switch who would want to play competitively,
Yeah,
but maybe don't have a PC that can run Rivals 2.
Yeah, I'm glad they're prioritizing it because it's definitely
Yeah,
it's a huge accessibility thing. Like this is another thing why like having 118 unique players is so surprising. Is this is a PC game and you have to configure like a controller for it. Otherwise, you're playing on
yeah.
keyboard, which is miserable. It's really good, but it's miserable.
I mean,
And
yeah,
so, yeah, having a console release is would be pretty huge. So I'm glad they're still
that
like talking about it, keeping it in their
would
sights.
be pretty huge. But workshop support again, that's going to be just way later down the line. It's
Yeah.
just harder, in the new engine and all that stuff. But the roadmap, very, very exciting. A lot of cool stuff
Hmm.
coming in that. But there's something we need to talk about, a controversial feature in the
Oh,
game.
oh, is it time?
It's
We're
time
talking
to
about
talk
it.
about. Oops, where is it? Sorry. Is
Tier
floor
list
hugging
time.
a bad thing? Sorry. Okay, a
The
bad
text is
thing.
a bad thing.
Yeah, the bad is it floor hugging a bad thing? There was a recent video by one and only BioBirb, professional rival, or competitive rivals of either player. I don't mean to when they say professional. I just mean there hasn't historically been a lot of money in rivals esports. But
Yeah.
he put together this video talking about um, crutch canceling, but more specifically talking about floor hugging. Um, and it's got the community a bit divided here, but mostly divided against BioBurb. I mean, what are your thoughts here?
Um, a lot of hot stuff that happened today. Like you were at work today, and I was like, "Bro, people have been talking about floor hugging all day. Like we got to talk
Yeah,
about it." It's something that has been on the players' minds, like all beta. Um, and there's a lot of moving parts to this argument. It has already been tweaked and toned down. So I
yes,
think it's worth considering that floor hugging is in a state right now that the devs seem to be more comfortable than ever before with it.
yeah. I think there were
Because
some
it used to
betas
be
where it
crazy.
felt bad. Like, in general, the video goes into a lot of detail. I highly recommend watching it. I'll throw it in chat right now because it's a very, very well made video.
It is.
Makes some interesting points. Um, but there's something to be said that just kind of fundamentally landing a hit and not and being punished for it is a bad feeling. But so is just getting mashed on. And so I think there's this balance that needs to be struck between the two that I think in its current state, floor hugging does pretty well. There were some pretty extreme
Yeah.
examples that BioBurb touches on in the video.
A lot
Um,
of them aren't real. Like if you
yeah,
go to the like the force burn clip where they're just down tilting and floor hugging. I saw Marlin quote retweet with a video. It's two force burn down tilts. They down tilt each other, and then the one that got floor hugged against, like the victim, as it were painted,
mhm,
just floor hugs the next down tilt and then grabs. Like it's so a lot of, I guess, the backlash for this video comes from a place of one, people are super hyped up on Rivals 2. It's a shit
yes,
game. There's very little things that are wrong with it.
mm,
Everyone's very excited for the release tomorrow, and so a lot of people are being like, "Wow, why are you dogging on Rivals 2 the day before launch? Like that kind of sucks. That's kind of a cringe thing to do." Um, and for that, I would offer, like, I see where they're coming from because I thought the first things as well. Um, but BioBurb is probably posting this the day before for a very similar reason why we're doing this the day before
yeah,
launch, which is to maximize the algorithm and viewership. And like
yeah,
give rivals players something to chew on while they can't play the game. Um,
yes,
so I want to give them the benefit of the doubt in terms of that. A lot of it, the other side of things is sort of people saying that floor hugging is a necessary evil, if you want to paint it
hmm
as a bad mechanic, a necessary defensive mechanic. I think Rivals 2 is a game where advantage state is king, and this is
yeah,
like all the top tiers are broken because they hit you and you die, and all the lower tier characters generally don't do that as well. Um, and so I just think it's a necessary mechanic to have in to sort of mitigate the amount of times you're eating a safe option. Um,
Mhm.
and also and dying for it. And the last thing I'll say about it, before I let you talk about it, is floor hugging is a timed input. Sort of it's a deliberate defensive option that you as the defender have to choose to do. It's very different from crouch canceling, which you can just be holding down. There's no
Yeah,
time. There's like you just hold it down. It's very different from moves being unsafe because you're not really making an active decision in those moments. When you floor hug something, it's an intentional defensive option that you are taking that can be beaten, and you're taking it
yeah.
like to mitigate the reward people get for throwing out these low risk combo starters. Like if I was getting blown up by Raster down tilt, like sub 15, like are you kidding me? Can you pull
Like
up the Leffen video?
Raster's Raster's got enough on him, I think.
Yeah.
Um, but I think BioBirb does bring up some good points in the video, regarding like sort of he says like losing floor hugging being so prevalent like means there's just a lot of less viable. There's fewer viable options for like combo starters, but I really think that like you were saying, a lot of those are very low committal and then high reward, which is a little antithetical to how Rivals 1 was designed, where it was very much you land a hit, you start a combo, and follow your opponent's drifty eye for as long as you possibly can, and then you kind of just take
Mhm.
turns doing that. It was much more simplified, and it's been very intentional that Rivals 2 wants to go in a slower, more methodical direction, while also being it's still pretty fast paced.
Yeah.
And of
Yeah.
course, we can't talk about floor hugging without hearing the goat's opinion on it, obviously. So let's see what he has to think about it.
The fuck is floor hugging? The fuck? It better not be CC.
Dude, I love hearing Mango talk about Rivals. It's so good.
Don't call it floor hugging in my chat, please. Please. Floor hugging has to be the stupidest fucking name I've ever fucking heard in my entire life. Yeah, call it ground fucking. That's way too. That motherfucker won't stop fucking the ground.
All right, so that's what the goat has to say on the matter.
Oh my god, he might be the greatest mind that fighting
He
games
is.
you've ever seen.
I mean, a little off topic, but I do love. I was watching Mango play. I don't watch a lot of Twitch streams of like not specifically like esports events,
Yeah.
but I watched Mango play Rivals 2 for like a couple hours the other night, and I was just like, I just loved. It was such a good time.
It's
It was
such a
like
vibe.
my first Mango stream, and he had a little throwback, played Raster for a game, got like 3 stocked by a Lox, and then switched back. So
Yeah.
you know,
It's
it
because
is what it
Lox
is.
wins that matchup, but we'll talk about
Yeah.
a
Well,
Loxodont later.
we'll talk about the Lox
Yeah.
later.
Floor hugging. The video also goes on. It mentions counterplay a lot more than I think people are painting it on Twitter. But it doesn't mention like percent dependent at all.
Yeah.
And I think there is a clip where like a
Like Zetter floor
Zetterburn
hug is like
floor hugs like a
Orcane.
jab, Orcane jab at
Yeah.
200, and it's like
Okay.
okay, and maybe
And
maybe
I think you
Orcane
could
shouldn't kill me off a
no,
jab,
and
you
I
know?
think you can still, as Orcane, say cancel jab with down tilt. I think that still works on floor hugging. I'm not certain, but I think it
Yeah. Down
does.
tilt. I know down tilt knocks you down. You're in knockdown at
Yeah.
like 25%. It's a very like percent. I one thing I enjoy about floor hugging. I'm not saying it's a
Mm-hmm.
perfect mechanic. I see both sides for sure.
It's interest, but me too.
I like that percent play varies. I come from
Yes.
Smash where the percent play is very abstract. Like if I get to like 100%, I have to be aware of my opponent's kill moves. But there's nothing in game that's making that happen. There's no mechanic. It's just sort of like an abstract skill level thing. Whereas this is a very concrete way that percent influences neutral game and punish game and how that all works out. And so I think I like that complexity. I
think
I like it.
I like the complexity adds. I think there was another tweet and I forget. I might have pulled up. Yeah, it was from Leffen doing his sort of counter cherry picking of examples. I think he says like, would you prefer this type of platform for their gameplay without floor hugging? And obviously, if they remove floor hugging, they would have to change a lot of things like this, which would maybe be better, but I think it would require so much to change about the game, just like fundamentally, that I don't think it'd be worth it. I think floor hugging is great at what it's designed to do. It may take some refining and some tweaking further on, but I think it's overall pretty good. Any closing thoughts on floor hugging or ground fucking?
There seems to be a lot of confusion in terms of like crouch cancel and floor hug and just DIing down and how that all works. So I think it's worth reiterating that floor hugging is a timed input. I'm actually not sure if it always was, but floor hugging is when you SDI or SSDI in this game down to go from being airborne, from being hit to being on the ground, and then like crouch canceling it from there. And so like, I think it is an important distinction because a lot of people are sort of wondering, what is floor hugging? Why is it in our game? Do we actually need it? And I'm not saying the answer to that is inherently yes, but I would invite people to sort of think about how that ecosystem of things works. And like you said, like the whole thing could be redesigned so that moves have significantly less starting knockback and much more scaling, so that at lower percents moves like aren't safe and you can hit them. But like, I think that's just not what the devs want for the game. It's not in their vision. Like, if you change this, you'll have to like, people are like, add back drift DI. And it's like, okay, well, we've already talked about that. We're not doing that. So it's a big complex ecosystem. I think if you don't like floor hugging a little bit, then you can probably live with that. Dude, you're weird. You're legit.
I mean, I asked for your closing thoughts and you go on this like a 40-second rant. Connor in chat went
40 seconds
more like snore hugging. Which is true. It is more like that.
If you're bored because I'm floor hugging, fucking grab me.
I think, okay. Anyways,
sorry.
Anyways, that's enough for floor hugging. I will quickly shout out to the viewers we have in chat. This is our show called the DashBack. Many are calling it the plat chat of Rivals 2. We're here just to recap everything that's been going on in the Rivals scene, both in the game and in the esport. Earlier on, we talked about the dev deep dives, that sort of thing. And we're going to start moving on to some more esports related topics. But important to know, this first episode live here on the Gary and Theory channel, the one and only. But the VOD for this stream and also all future episodes are going to be taking place on the channel linked in the description. Wrong Tree Esports, the Fighters channel. That's where everything's going to go in the future for all this sort of content. Now,
Wrong Tree.
It's time to move on.
Hashtag bark it up. Let's go.
Hashtag bark. Can we get some hashtag bark up in chat?
Hashtag bark up. Holy. Okay. What's next? What's
next? Well, we talked about the GOAT, Mango.
Yeah.
But now it's time to talk about another pretty, I guess, pretty important Melee player, and that is the one and only HBox, who ran a record-breaking Coinbox this past week on the Wednesday of the demo. I played in it and I watched a lot of it, and I think it was one of my favorite tournaments I've ever watched. I mean, you watched it? How did you feel about it?
I caught it in Colorado, so I didn't get to play because I was busy. I was at a Porter Robinson concert, but legit during the opening act and like between sets, I had it pulled up on my phone in the middle of Red Rocks, Colorado, and I was able to watch a lot of it. I like HBox, man. I like him too. He's a silly guy.
Can I be honest?
Yeah.
I wasn't a big HBox fan until I watched this first Coinbox. Yeah, I thought his pop-offs were kind of weird. But no, I loved the vibes and the like how much he genuinely seemed to care about the game and like trying to lift up the players. I think was really cool. And I imagine that's what it's like in all these coin boxes, where he really wanted to give back to the community. But I mean, the headline story that we see on the top there is Coinbox. It's mirrored. Coinbox breaks records because it became the most entered Rivals tournament ever. Rivals 1 or 2. I don't know if you can really see on the screen there. It had 788 attendees. And some massive names in there.
Wait, what place did Zane get?
Get into.
Zane entered?
Question.
Wait, did he DQ? Just click on his name. It should.
Oh, sorry, I'm not very good at using Start GG. Oh,
that's
matches.
good.
I went 0-2.
That's
sorry, guys.
You going 0-2.
Sorry, guys.
How the hero? You're legit weird. Sorry.
I don't know what happened. I pressed back and then it didn't. Hi, Zane. 129th.
Yeah, that's not bad.
That's not bad.
Wait, who did he lose to?
He's a 2-2er. Pumpkins. Caro.
I did better than Zane at my first Rivals.
Ooh.
Get mogged.
Ooh. Anyways, sorry. But it broke records. The previous one, I believe, was this NA RCS Finals from 2021 that had 608 entrants, but that was confirmed to be kind of like fraudulent because you by signing up for that event, you got a skin in game, and then a bunch of people just DQ'd. So by far the most entrants in a Rivals of Aether tournament ever, and it was a great tournament.
Yeah, this is so interesting to me to see the dichotomy because I come from Smash Ultimate. Well, I come from like Brawl Smash 4, but I'm an alt kid, and so seeing your introduction to the Coinbox as a thing is so funny to me because it's something I've been living with every Wednesday for like God, who knows how long. And especially you saying you think his pop-offs are weird because like then you watch his stream and you realize he's just like that. Dude, he does sub goals.
Well, I never thought he wasn't just
funny.
like that.
Yeah.
But it's just like I don't know. I like HBox. I like HBox.
Yeah. I thought it was a very good experience. I think he has a lot of viewers that are like down to earth and super down for this game.
So many the support for this game was awesome. There were so many gifted subs. This one guy gave like 100 subs to like him and also Wisely and what was the other commentator's name? The British one.
Fabs.
Yeah. Fabs. Also got some gifteds in there, I think. And it was really cool to see. He also like Marlon has now been getting like 250 viewers a stream, which is so huge. Because there hasn't really been like a ton of viewership for Rivals in the past. But now with Rival 2s, that's changing. But the other thing is that we're getting another Rivals 2 coin box tomorrow. Next week. From when that previous one was. But of course, we got it right here. Second Rivals coin box in 2 days. I think this wasn't even an original announcement tweet. Maybe I'm risky scrolling on XD Everything app. But I know Ludwig. Where is it? There we go. Ludwig also put in another $1,000. He put in $1,000 to the prize pool for the first one. Now he did another one. And it was also the first one after everyone had already entered. So like it didn't even like add any marketing. He just did that for love of the game.
For hype factor.
But one there's another tournament coming up that FlyQuest is putting on. It's going to end up being weekly. Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Fly Fighters, they're putting on a tournament that not a lot of other people have seemed to take note of. One bracket, $800 pot. This first one's going to be bi-coastal. And then the next one and everyone after that is going to be one for East Coast, one for West Coast. Only 22 attendees thus far, which I know if there were just more people saw this, that they would want to sign up. So definitely,
because there's some names, bro. There's some names in there.
I think there's some names in here for sure. There's some names in there. But it's exciting. I think we're already seeing a lot of people want to support this game. A lot of organizations, but of course we can't talk about the Coinbox without talking about Marlon. We already mentioned him earlier. This guy, he's just electric. He's unbelievable, which brings us into what I assume will be the bulk of this episode, which is of course our pre-release power rankings. I'm gonna pull up just a Google Doc real quick for us to get right down our players, because in my opinion there's a pretty clear top 2.
I think there's a very definitive top 5.
I
Maybe
think
not very definitive, but I think
there's a pretty clear top 5 as well, and then I think it gets kind of murky. I think the placings within the top 5 and maybe even the top 2 are a little murky, but
no, you're silly.
maybe.
No, dude, you're dumb. You're dumb.
I mean, the point of this, I think everything we take regard, players in this should be taken with a hefty grain of salt. 1, because we're ass. 2, because the game isn't out yet, and there's been, players haven't had the chance to grind. There hasn't been that many events, and I think we can definitely see basically any name we bring up and all the many that we don't do some serious damage in the coming events, like the next Coinbox, like the FlyQuest one, all sorts of stuff. But let's talk first and foremost about the man himself, Marlon. I mean, this guy's crazy.
He's the best player in the world. He's the best player in the world right now. I really don't think it's close. I like top 2.
No. I think it's Marlon, Tier Gap, and then the next player. But we'll reveal that, over the course. Here's the Google Doc.
Zoom in on that bad boy.
I'm getting there.
Okay. Hell yeah, man. Hell yeah.
Marlon.
Maybe when I hit space or enter. It's yeah, Marlon, you can't sing this guy's praises enough right now. He's on top of the game. He was crazy in Rivals 1, a world beater, winning Riptide over Cake Assault. He's so good at pushing buttons so fast, and they're always correct, and you always die.
There are a few players that I think. Let me restart. There's a lot of players, Rivals 1 players, who have some feels like the game feels a lot slower, less combo-y, which I think is generally kind of true. And it's one of the things that made Rivals 1 so unique, and what's going to probably keep it alive, I think, is that uniqueness alongside Workshop, obviously.
Yeah.
But there's a few players on this list that I'm sure we'll talk about that look like they're still playing Rivals 1, and Marlon is undoubtedly one of them. He's just so fast. He's such a high APM. It's crazy.
Dude,
he's
it's
just
crazy.
So good.
His brain is so fast. Like, the biggest adjustment from Rivals 1 to Rivals 2 is obviously shield. Like, you click shield, it's defensive. It stops your movement for the price of defending yourself. But Marlon, if you shield in front of him, he grabs you and then you die. It's crazy what he's able to do with all of these, like his multitude of characters as well. Piloting all these characters. One of the few players on this list.
I mean, yeah, honestly, like he has a Raster, obviously, which is his best character. It is main. There's his Maple, who he plays just to get nerfed. His Orcane, who he plays just so he can get nerfed. And then he's also got a Crag on occasion. Like, this guy, he's unreal.
Yeah. He can play pretty much the whole cast except for Fleet at a competent level right now.
Yeah.
I tuned into one of his streams, him grinding Forceburn to master a very controversial character, but he made it look so broken, and he was like, yeah, this character is broken. Like, look, I'm gonna kill this guy now. And then he does, because Combust Angle is so disgusting. Marlon is an insane player. He's got first place at all the important events that he's gone to.
Yeah, like everything that he's played in that he hasn't just fucked around in, right? He's gotten first.
Yeah. He got first at this last Coinbox. He got first at Riptide, and he got first in the Champion of the Beta tournament. And the other 2, I would say, big tournaments that have happened so far, being Supernova. I mean,
it's the platform fighter
did not enter. So Marlon
is crazy.
Is crazy. What was I just gonna say about him? It's ridiculous. It really is. No,
it is just ridiculous.
There are 3 players. So yeah, the only tournament he hasn't won would be Genesis during the Crag patch of the beta.
Oh my god!
This was before Loxodon was announced. So this was a very
there's no Lox,
early
no Clarin.
Rivals. Yeah,
it was one of the first times you could play Rivals 2.
Yeah, it's very so he lost. He got I think second at Genesis. Yes, got second at Genesis, and then has just swept everything else so far. There have only been 3 players that have beaten Marlon at these tournaments so far. Won at one of these tournaments that have mattered. So he lost to ZB at Genesis. Lost to
Crag main.
Yeah, Crag Patch. Lost to Stango at a Rivals varsity Wi-Fi tournament that no one really watched, but it happened. So Stango does have a Marlon win. And then lost to B-Bats in a very close game 5 at the last Coinbox, and then went on to absolutely raffle stomp the run back.
Yeah,
in
he
losers.
3-0'd the run back and also won the last game of that set as a 3-stock. And then 6-1'd Ranganshu in the grand finals of Coinbox. So
yeah,
pretty much no doubt in my mind that Marlins are number 1. I think number 2, pretty much. I think Cake Assault. Let me throw that Cake Assault.
Yeah,
This guy's pretty good.
I think he's number 2.
I do agree with number 2.
I think we're gonna have the same top 5.
I agree. I don't know if we'll have exactly the same placements, but maybe. I think Cake has. If it wasn't Marlon winning, it was Cake, with one exception being at Wavelength, where Boyko ended up winning. Of course, Boyko, Claren main, Cake Assault, a Fleet main, Zetter secondary. Fleet has a very unfavorable matchup against Claren, to the point where first Cake switched from Fleet to Zetter, and then was just getting destroyed by Boyko, and then switched back to Fleet. Ultimately lost at Wavelength, but I mean, other than that, it's either been him or Marlon winning the tournament, with the exception again of the Coinbox, where Cake got 2-0'd, but doesn't have great internet. That's why he also wasn't in champ of the beta.
He was in that champ of the beta because he had a prior commitment. So he DQ'd out of that. He wasn't there. And then he had internet issues that got him 49th at the last Coinbox. But all these offline events, which I hold with a slightly higher regard, very slightly. I just think it's worth saying, not that it's really that crazy. Cake Assault's been right there. One Supernova. Second at Riptide to Marlon. Second at Wavelength to Boyko. Very consistent player. He's uncontested GOAT of Rivals 1.
Yeah, it has to be mentioned. He was the no doubt the best player in Rivals 1 on 4s, who's back in the game, but he's talked about how he wants to stick with Fleet. I imagine he'll probably at least get a 4 secondary, but that is what it is. And I think number 3, we just mentioned him, is probably Boyko. Would you agree with that?
I feel
you're a big Boyko fan. Go ahead, talk to me about Boyko.
I'm a very big Boyko fan. I've been watching his VOD since he was the only Claren player around. Player coming from Smashy Bros, like PM sort of stuff, and PM P plus, that whole joint. Boyko, very good player on the Claren, just knows what the correct move is to do. He doesn't even have like, I think a big difference between a lot of Rivals 1 players and Smash players all coming together is the APM. Like the Rivals players tend to be able to press buttons and like get their hitfall combos so much faster and so much better. And Boyko is a very low actions per minute sort of player. It's just all the ones he presses are correct. He kind of has been pioneering Claren.
That's the biggest thing that I noticed when I watch Boyko, is that he, like you're saying, doesn't have the APM of a lot of these Rivals vets, but like he just moves with such precision, and I think that's like kind of what led him to win Wavelength most recently. Was just like he's just always making the right choice. Exactly what you were saying. Now, in my opinion, I think here I would put another tier break before moving on. Which again, these tier breaks, they don't mean a whole lot because this game isn't out yet. There hasn't been a lot of matches, and I think any of these players could come out to be the best player in the game in like 3 weeks.
Could be, or it's going to be Ranganshu.
So there's 4th, 5th. I don't know exactly how I feel, but I think I know who I want to put here.
Yeah,
now,
talk to me about
I want to put
4.
I want to put ZB at 4.
Okay, and it begins. All right.
The
controversy begins.
I think ZB is another one of those players who just looks like he's playing Rivals 1. Of course, he's on the Crag.
ZB's so evil.
He is evil. Maybe I just like him too much. Maybe I'm a little biased and I just love watching ZB and the decisions he makes. But he's had very good results overall. I think he's just been like top 6 at like every event he's entered off the top of my head.
Yeah.
His crag is just again, he just looks like he's playing Rivals 1 still, and I think like those are some of the best players in my opinion.
Yeah.
But who would you have here? Because I think there's another one that comes to mind at this level.
Yeah, and that would be Stango,
Yes,
of course.
yes.
The Zetterburn
Sponsored by
Claren
Boyko.
Pocket. Yeah, sponsored by Boyko. Boyko sponsored by Stango. I think these two players. So ZB is probably one of the reasons why people think Crag is good, even though he's not. Is like ZB will grab you and give you a big old hug, and then like you'll finally get to breathe from the hug and you're in the blast zone. Like the character, this is the player that got Crag nerfed. This is the player that is pioneering labbing cargo throw stuff. So good with the back airs. His use of ledge intangibility is really good, which is a really important thing in the game. He goes so deep with the edge guards. He's always good for a recovery that you don't think he's going to make. It's a very clean player, a very, very evil player. Goes for a lot of early down Bs off the stage. Has a lot of very consistent results outside the top 3. ZB's gotten 4th at the Coinbox, 4th at Riptide, and 3rd at Supernova. I think what it comes down to is I really value the 2nd at Supernova that Stango has.
Yeah.
I think Stango, like bar for bar, is probably a more formidable opponent that if you run into, you're less likely to beat at this top level. I think he's a lot faster. But I could see it either way. Like, in fact, if you wanted to do 4 and 5 ZB Stango, like
I would be fine with that.
I think the margin is not. It's very slim. I personally would give it to Stango because I think Zetterburn more than Crag.
I was rewatching in the Riptide this morning, and then Stango was not in. But ZB, he's just like you're saying. You were describing it as the hug, the suffocating hug of his Crag advantage state is crazy. And I might be like maybe overrating just like how disgusting that feels in my mind. So I'd be okay with putting doing something like this. I think Stango is a fantastic player as well. I think he's probably the best Zetter in the world.
Yeah,
I think it's pretty safe to say. I know there's cakes up there, but mostly playing Fleet.
Yeah, put ZB at number 4. Put ZB at number 4.
Okay.
Put Stango at number 5, just for the sake of having it ordered. I think it's very close. I had Stango. But like this is fine. This is probably real life, you know.
This is again where we have, in my opinion, would have a tier break. I think this is the top 5, which I think is one thing interesting to note about this is that it's split between Rivals and PM.
Yeah.
I think that's super interesting. That's like from the beginning, that's been kind of like the two.
It was that, that was how it went. I thought the PM players were going to be mad on top, and then people learned how to grab, and so
I'm changing my mind. We've put Stango above ZB. Stango has a win on Marlin.
Stango does have a win on Marlin. Yeah,
that's good
and Stango has a winning record on ZB for that head to head. I'm pretty sure.
Oh well, I think that's fair. And then I think Stango above ZB is chill.
Okay, I like that. Let's talk number 6 then.
Let's talk number 6. This I think where it gets a little bit more ambiguous. I have 2 potential players in mind. We were just talking about how it's been TM and Rivals players thus far, but a melee player making waves also with now a win on Marlin is B-Bats. Maybe a little bit of recency bias. I hadn't been following them too much until the Owen place, and then I started watching them a lot more. Second best Fleet.
Has been on the up and up. B-Bats is better in the past week than he's ever been, but I personally would give it to Switch.
Switch was the other player I was thinking about, and Switch is. So we talked about how there were a lot of Rivals players who can still look like they're playing Rivals 1. Switch is a PM player who looks like he's playing Rivals 1. I rewatched him at what was it? I think it was Riptide. Yes, I was watching the Riptide. Yeah. And he is very, very good at on the Maple. I think probably the best character in the game right now. We'll get into that maybe a little bit later. But Switch, I'm super impressed with, and I would
Yeah.
be very happy putting him in the 6th.
I mean, for me, it goes to the consistency.
Yeah.
Like Switch has constantly not been winning the tournaments, but has been really close, been up there fighting, pretty much destroying everyone who doesn't deserve to be there, and then getting farmed by like the rest of them. So like a 9th at the last Coinbox is very good. A 5th at
Yeah.
Riptide, very good. 4th at Supernova, very good. 13th at Champ of the Beta, very stacked event, very
Yes.
good placement. And then 5th at Wavelength.
I mean, so this here is like where things are going to get a lot more interesting, and I think I'm going to have to defer you a little bit more on a lot of these
Yeah,
players
sure.
because I think the placements vary a lot in their history, and then therefore are going to vary a lot here in this
Yeah.
in this list. We mentioned BBats earlier. Of course, Ron Gunshu took 2nd at the most recent Coinbox and has had some decent results since then. Then like Envy got 2nd at Champ of the Beta, and then what was
Yeah.
it 7th at Coinbox? Yeah,
Yep.
right. He's been pretty decent.
Yep.
Luck's up there too. I mean, do you have what are your thoughts on
So
these last
I
these
think
couple players
I
that I
think
think are in
Switch
this
gets
tier?
this. I think the power level sort of starts to widen and even out as we get into these
Yeah,
ranks. I think I like giving Switch number 6 because of the consistently he's been to all these events consistently throughout the beta, which is what we're ranking right now.
of
The
course.
this beta era. Deserve that spot, even though I do actually think BBats might be better right now. And so I think BBats definitely
BBats
should
is
get this
7.
7th place. Yeah.
I like
Uh,
that. I think BBats. It was between BBats and Switch for me, and I think a little recency bias made me want to put BBats above, but I'm very happy with BBats at 7.
Yeah.
Um,
If you look at BBATS's trajectory and placements, like as the game has
yeah,
gone out, it's literally only got up. Like the furthest back event that he went to, Supernova, he got 33rd. And then next Riptide, he got 13th. And then 4th at Wavelength, now 3rd at Coinbox with a set off Marlin. These
those
are
are
very good things.
upward trending results.
Yeah. And
Um,
one of the highest elo players as well right now.
yes, I
I
think
think
like
he
just behind
barely got
Marlin.
beaten out. Yeah, I think Marlon just beat him out, but this is a
Yeah,
very good player.
I think it's also worth mentioning that we're focused on NA here because that's all we've really been watching. There's
Yeah.
some definite EU hitters, and would only imagine some other reasons, but unfortunately just haven't been able to follow those ones as
Yeah.
much. And hopefully maybe at like Plat Fight or something, we could see some European players at
Some more
maybe.
international talent.
I
Yeah.
would love
It would
to
be
see that
great.
personally. I know like Spider insane right now.
Yeah.
Some other
I
good
think
ones, but
Spider's not competing right now though. I
no.
don't know if you saw
Okay,
that tweet. Maybe I'm
I
thinking
didn't
of the
see
wrong
that.
guy.
I thought he
But
was
like
still.
yeah.
He's been looking insane and posting some fire vids. So
Yeah,
speaking of
so
fire vids, I mean, LP anyone top
LP
10? Maybe I don't know.
dude,
I don't know. I'm getting ahead of
I wasn't
myself.
I wasn't sold on LP till I really went back and looked at the numbers.
Yeah,
Um yeah, so if I had to think about this is really where it gets crazy because I think 4 players that could be the next spot in my
let's rate him.
opinion.
Like who do you got? Who do you got right now?
It's going to be Lucius,
Yep.
Ron Gunshu.
How do you spell it? Ron Gunshoe.
Yep, that's correct. Luck, NV, and LP. So
I think that makes a lot of sense. I'm gonna be honest. I don't know a whole lot about Ron Gunshoe.
yeah,
Outside of winning the Coinbox,
yeah.
and
So Ron
likewise for Envy,
Gunshu,
outside of winning, or not winning, obviously, second place, for both these players at Coinbox and Champ of the Beta, respectively.
I think it's definitely between those first 2.
I've disappeared.
Yeah,
They've taken me out.
yeah, they got
I'll be
you. Are
back.
you okay?
I'll return.
Yeah, you
I think
want
my
me to just
camera overheated.
keep it going, like
Yeah, dude.
for sure.
Keep it going. I'm just in the void.
That's sick. So it's definitely between Lucius and Ranganshu for me. Ranganshu's a player I've had on my radar very early on in like May, June, I was scraping the dungeon for Claren VODs and like trying to learn and study these Claren players. And Rangunchu is a name that came up pretty early. Has been sort of on a exponential growth type beat, not dissimilar to BBats because of his breakout run at the Coinbox, the largest event ever. I think it should be weighed very heavily. He got second coming into grands through winner's side, only to fall against Marlon, the uncontested best player.
Sorry, I just accidentally turned it up. Wait, no.
What is this?
I don't know how this happened.
Why is it mirrored?
How did I mirror the text? Chat, what happened?
You know what?
Just keep talking. What were you saying? Rangunchu is like 8th or something.
He's good. Rangunchu,
I would give it to Lucius personally.
So yeah, that's the thing I'm thinking is Rangunchu has 9th at Riptide, 9th at Champ of the Beta, 2nd at Coinbox, and a very unique sort of run. Very definitely put him on the map. If he wasn't already. And then you have someone like Lucius. And Lucius is a player that has more or less for a while had Rano on his back. It's less like that now. But Lucius has a 9th at Riptide, just like Rangunchu has 9th at Supernova, and a 5th at Wavelength. And also a 49th at Champ of the Beta, but that is a little asterisk because he lost in losers to LP for 49th, which is really crazy because we're talking about LP being like this top 10 caliber. So a really cutthroat event.
So you're thinking something like this?
I would think something like that. I think that makes sense. That's fine.
Weird.
I think that makes a lot of sense. I do think it's interchangeable. I have like Claren bias. I think Rangunchu's an incredible player. I didn't know Claren could move that fast and kill like
that's
that.
Something
the
that
way he's
I
able
noticed
to kill us. Oh.
In the Coinbox compared when I was thinking like the last Claren I was really watching was Boyko at Wavelength, and then Rangunchu has a very different style of Claren. Which is very entertaining to see the dichotomy there. But I like this, and then I really don't know much about Envy, like I was saying earlier. I think Lux been like decent at every event he's played.
Yeah.
But just I haven't seen that much of him.
And so is LP. I mean,
yeah.
So Luck has 5ths at Coinbox and Champ of the Beta, which is probably the two most stacked events. Probably the two most stacked events.
Definitely.
Envy placed similarly 7th at Coinbox, 2nd at Champ of the Beta. So it becomes this weird question of like, do you value, like, what do you value more in these situations? Do you think Envy had a great run at Champ of the Beta? It was a great day. Maybe faltered a little at Coinbox. I'd be inclined to give it to Envy here, honestly. Because
I think again, I'll defer to you mostly.
Yeah, 7th at Coinbox is really fucking good, and like 2nd at Champ of the Beta is really good. You could call it like because Boyko and oh no, Boyko was in the Champ of the Beta. My bad, but Cake Assault wasn't there.
Yes, was not there.
So it's like that's who you would expect to be in that 2nd place slot. But Envy beat Stango at Champ of the Beta. That's a big win. 7th at Coinbox. I can't pull up the run right now, but like I'd be inclined to give it to those placings rather than the 5th at both. But it's close.
I think that's fair. I think
it's really close.
You know, there's one thing here that in Rivals 1, a lot of the top brackets had a lot of Crag, and I would love to give it to Arano instead. But that's not really relevant. And of course, LP has the YouTube buff. Great content over there.
Dude, LP makes fire vids. Wait,
but
I didn't even think about that.
I said I was going to defer to you. I think you're a bit more educated on these last players. And I think I feel pretty happy with this top 10. Personally, will my camera turn back on?
It did?
Will it?
Will it? IDK.
It doesn't seem
It would be
like
great if it did, so we could give it the DashBack seal of approval.
I'm back.
And
I'm no longer in the void, Lamau.
Okay,
Okay,
wait,
I've
wait.
returned. Oh, I'm dead again. Oh, is it? Wait.
That's so sad, man. We got to
Do I
give it
have
a
the wrong
thumbs
cable
up for
plugged
the
in? No,
screenshot.
Oh, I don't think the cable was fucking plugged in on the. Yeah, it wasn't. Okay. Um, we can come back to this, I suppose.
Okay, yeah, no, we just need
oh,
a picture for the seal of approval.
Yeah,
and other
yeah,
than
we can,
that,
we can,
this is a great
we
list.
can double back for the
Yep.
DashBack. We can dash back. Oh my gosh, guys.
Let's dash back to
Dude.
this. You know, let's dash back to
Yes,
this. You understand?
let's dash back to this.
Let's dash
While
back
we
to
move
this.
on to what I think is really what we're all here for at the end of the day, right?
Is it?
I mean,
tier list time.
I was gonna give it more ado than that, but yes, it is. It is in fact
Woo!
tier list time, baby. Hang on a second. Oh, you can't tell. I'm still in the void, but I don't have the text source on this. I did not have the tier maker link here. But we know there's nothing like a good bit of interaction farming, and there's no better way to do that than with a couple tier lists. I mean,
Yeah.
we've seen Leffins put out some for sure.
Yeah,
There's
a couple.
There's been some
I mean,
hilarious ones.
If you want to pull any up, like pull up Stangos.
Let me do that.
Stangos is funny.
There's some very funny ones. It seems like a surefire way to farm up interactions.
There seems to be a general consensus on how good or bad characters are relative to each other. Raster Maples that are good and
Yep.
Loxodon is bad and stuff like that.
Unless you're Leffen.
Unless you're Leffen.
Yeah.
Who is this? Is this Stangos?
Stangos.
Okay.
Oh, he's the one that has that as C tier.
Yeah, this is what
and Maple B.
And Fleet second best in the game. That's what losing to Cake Assault will do to you.
That's interesting. I think I had some others bookmarked actually.
Okay.
I just didn't pull up. Yeah, I got a couple coming up here. Give me 1 second while I pull these up. But
yeah,
I think
it's worth talking about how this game is like really balanced. I think it's really balanced. I think there's very few matchups that are definitively one way. And the ones that are still super doable. I think there's a lot of really interesting matchups. Like people were saying that Loxodon beat Raster until they realized that that's really stupid. Like, but just the fact that the fact that people can think that is really sick.
We put a grain of salt on the power rankings because the game's new. It hasn't been a lot of events, and I think you could put an even further grain of salt on these tier lists because not only is the game new,
I'm absolutely
but also
here.
The game, like you were saying, is extremely well balanced, and I can't find Leffen's tier list for the life of me. Was it in his YouTube?
The one that had locks at number 2.
Yeah. Yes.
Or like maybe not number 2.
I don't know, but I got some pulled up here. Boss Hog, another prominent EU player, Scott. This is one of them that I am more inclined to agree with.
I mean, this sort of outlines, yeah.
As well. Go ahead though. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say that last one sort of outlines like Lox is bad. Those top 4 are fast, so they're good, and then everyone else is sort of like whatever you feel. You know, that's sort of the vibe. What is this
as well with a very reasonable
Now this
with a couple
correct.
Exceptions.
Hold on, dude. This might literally be my tier list.
Really? You think 4s is the worst?
Oh no. I didn't even get there.
Okay.
Sorry, I didn't even get there. I didn't.
We can talk about it more. Here's Void.
Yeah.
A lot of
Force
players.
Doomers.
Yeah, a lot of Force Doomers. But let's get into things first and foremost by talking about the tiers here. And I might be back. I'll be back for a bit. Hang on, real quick.
Yeah, screenshot.
Smile for the camera.
Wait, take the text away.
Shut up! I am,
dude.
Perfect.
Cool. Did you
here's
get
the
that? Did I
screenshot.
blank? Okay.
I didn't get the screenshot, but we can get it later. Yeah, because it's not SABCD in my opinion. Like not even close.
What? It's
like I don't think.
What do you mean by
like
that?
I don't think there is a D tier character.
I don't think there's a C tier character, dude.
I agree.
I
would
think it's
agree with that.
SS. I think it's SS, S, A,
Yes.
B. Like dead ass. So you want to go ahead and do that?
I think I agree with you because I mean let's just get into it, right? I think there are there are two SS characters in my opinion, which feels weird to say.
Yeah, there might
S plus.
There might be. I feel weirdly about Raster because throw Maple up there.
Maple's up there for sure.
I think we both agree that Maple's the best character in the game.
Yeah.
Let's talk about Maple first then. Like Maple, so this character is the fastest in the game.
Sorry, another thing.
Yeah.
I don't care about frame data, okay? I don't care about
okay.
any other mechanics that would make a character good. Okay, this is vibes based analysis from yours truly.
Bro,
all right.
Oh my god.
BBA. Anyway, continue. Go ahead. Go ahead with your spiel.
I care about frame data.
Okay.
Actually, a lot of characters have very similar frame data in this game. There's no one with a
similar story
shit
in like Rivals 1.
Yeah.
They just make a good game over here.
It really just differs. Yeah, whatever. Yeah, in terms of like landing lag on a lot of things, I think, and recovery frames is where frame data really tends to matter a lot. But Maple is the epitome of Rivals 2 right now in terms of character that everyone hates playing against and is super fast and can kill you, and like that's really all you need. This character is ridiculous.
Yeah, I think Maple feels just like we've talked multiple times about players that feel like they're playing Rivals 1 still, and that goes for just about any Maple. Honestly, like she moves so quick, can kill you so fast. Fair feels really strong. Maybe I'm just bad at DIing it. I did lose in Coinbox to a Maple, so I may be a little bit biased. But
I lost at Wavelength to a Maple.
There we go. And like, I'm gonna pull up the champ of the beta again.
Yeah, pull up that last clip.
That last game, of course, there's the very last clip, but this whole last game from Marlon.
Dude, just have this playing. Yeah,
let's just leave it up for a little bit while we talk about how just strong Maple is.
So
let
me see. This character is like not fun to play against because she's impossible to hit. Because she's not only she's the fastest in the game, she's like the shortest in the game as well. So it very hard to track down and hit. When she hits you, you have to hope and pray to God that she messes up and drops a tech chase and that you get lucky. Because like rolling out and shit is so reactable, and especially at ledge, you can cover multiple tech options with a smash attack that holds you in place as if she needed that, which is hilarious. Down tilt knocks you down. F tilt is a ridiculously broken move. The only thing that she really doesn't have, dude, like he didn't even want to kill him there. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. That sent the wrong way and it kills. And so Lily's kind of mid.
Lily is kind of mid in this game. Because not only can she be shielded, she can be hit, and of course she can still be parried, giving you invincibility. Lily's like not great, but like it doesn't matter.
Yeah, she still does what she needs to do. She's still there for the 1-2, so you can play Ice Climber Simulator like on your character that definitely needs to have a second guy to hit you. And that's sarcasm. It's ridiculous. Like locks you in place, has great synergy with Poppy, the new special pummel. So getting special pummeled is also infuriating.
There have been some Poppy combos that have just, I mean, it's infuriating to play as, but like it looks so sick.
Yeah. This character, like the one thing she doesn't really have going is her recovery is very unforgiving, but I don't think it's necessarily exploitable just yet. I expect her to become a little bit worse as edge guarding becomes more streamlined and we sort of figure out what we can do against Maple a lot better off stage. But as for right now, it's like tether 50-50, get back to stage. Her up B got giga buffed in this game, so you can still shorten it to combo, but it also kills like way more generously.
And just like her like up air, tether, up air, kill confirms, like feels like they can kill off the top faster than like just about any other character can.
Yeah. And is this it? Is this where it comes to? Like if like this character doesn't lose matchups. Matchup spreads are very important when you're talking about tier list.
Oh, here it is.
Straight up doesn't lose any matchups because can do this to any fast faller, which is like
pretty
crazy.
Much.
Yeah, it only works on fast fallers.
It does only work on fast fallers,
Crag,
and
Crag,
it's a lot easier on Crag because Crag.
But it's real.
It's real,
and it can hurt you.
Given that specific circumstance, I'm in the void again.
Unlucky.
I'm in the void again. Oh well. That's okay. Maple feels like I'm being sent into the void.
Maple's really good.
Yeah, Maple S tier.
I think you're right about that second character, though. I think you're really right about that second character.
I think Raster, it's so none of this is helped by the fact that the best player in the world plays both these characters.
Yeah.
But I think
it's
Raster
like for a reason.
Is extremely strong.
Brother, I have a whole lot to say about Raster. Thank God they nerfed him. The nerfs were good.
He's one of the if you DI a single one of his moves incorrectly, you're like effectively dead for it. There was Marlon ZB at which one, Riptide was like ZB would like hold in on a move that sent the other sent out or sent like the wrong way and then just dies off the side for it. And like with Slipstream up, he's just so good.
Sometimes it doesn't matter. Sometimes wrong DI is
That's
just
true.
like you die. It's like not even because it's like, oh, you need to DI out on fair so that they don't get the true smash attack. But then it's like, oh, you DI'd out on fair and now they nair you and you die. And or like it turns out maybe they mixed it up and that's the hit that the jump that they've decided to smash attack instead. So this character is incredibly potent, has a ridiculous grab game, much better than Maple's. I mean, you could argue
that was something I wanted to bring up about Maple that felt like another like kind of weakness, but like again, it just doesn't matter.
She's so fast, but like Raster's grab game is ridiculous. You have down throw. First of all, his special pummel doesn't really do anything.
But like bringing someone up like that can be useful.
It just sucks.
And like there was, where was it? Was it at Wavelength where I don't even know if the set was on. No, the set was definitely on stream. It was before like top 8 where there's a Raster who kept going for special pummel like 5 times in a row and like kept getting the counter on. It was crazy.
Was it Shadowhawk?
It was Shadowhawk against Crag that I don't remember. And the Crag made a what?
Boo?
Maybe. I honestly can't remember, but the Crag ended up with a massive comeback. I think it was a reverse 3 stock, and it got so intense. That's very much a tangent though. That's not really relevant to Raster's power level right now.
Raster's ridiculous. His grabs are insane. Up throw, if you down throw, you turn into the best character in the game. If you back throw, you turn into a cheeser. If you up throw, you turn into melee Marth. It's like really insane. If you F throw and you're at ledge, you get stage, you get the freest edge guard because you can live anything and you have one of the most potent edge guarding tools in your down strong. It's just really, this character does killing you really well, which is the point of the game. So this character is really strong. The Slipstream nerfs were great. Really good players will still use it like as a combo tool, which is really sick.
But not just being able to just not have it for free has been great.
Yeah, 100%.
I think a very smart addition to the game overall. But I think we've talked about these two enough. I think very clearly the top 2 in the game. I think after this, it gets a lot more questionable. I think these two, I want to see these two nerfs. Raster even
I expect to see them nerfed.
Got his nerfs. Yes, I expect it. But then we get into the next tier, where I would like to place Zetterburn.
Yeah, I'm down.
I think you mentioned earlier about how these two characters are ones that just kill you. Advantage state is like so potent in this game, and I think that Zetterburn is really, really good at it. I think Zetter's one that we could probably see as people get better at dealing with those massive shine, dare, dare, fair, fair,
That's it.
fair,
Yeah.
fair combos. That he could definitely go down here. But I think as it stands right now, his place in the game, he feels very oppressive.
Yeah, he's super impressive, which is why I think he should be this high. He just like vaguely sucks, which the other two don't so far. Like,
That's so
I
real.
mean, yeah,
That's so real of you.
he's
Just
the
there's something
easiest
vague
character.
about it. I love that's now Matt. You started earlier. You care about frame data. That's some vibes based analysis right there.
No. It's
Yeah.
real analysis.
It's real vibes based analysis.
It's like his. He is one of the most edge guardable characters in history. It's super easy, especially if you've sort of mastered or spent any time against it or working on your like legend tangibility aerials,
Yes.
and how you can do that. This character struggles to get back to stage. This character is a fast faller, which means he gets eaten alive by absolutely everything while in like still being meaty enough to die early and not live that long. Which the other two characters are light and Raster's floaty, so like comboing him isn't as intuitive sometimes. So he's more susceptible, but he does have these strengths, these highs of the shine pressure, the combos, the absurd killing. His dare might be the best move in the game. I'm not even lying. They've nerfed it like absurd.
3 times.
They've nerfed it 3 times. It's ridiculous. It's
it is crazy,
move.
and like shine is worse than it was in Rivals 1. But I think I don't know what exactly it is that makes it feel so much more oppressive in this game.
Yeah,
I don't know if it's just
it's because it locks you in shield. Like you have a guy wave shining on your shield, and it's like fuck. Because if you let go, you're on fire, and it true combos into up strong. This character has an absurd kill power. Even with like the throws, I think has really good combo
That's always
throws.
been one of Zetter's strengths, even in Rivals 1, and it carries over in this game just as much.
Yeah, that's pretty much.
Cool.
Pretty much.
I think after this,
now we're gonna argue a lot.
I think we are. So I think I know what you would say here.
Really?
I think you would put Claren next to Zetter in the S tier.
Yeah.
I would want to put Claren top of A.
Who do you think's better than Claren? Who do you think's better than Claren?
Who do I think? No, I don't think anyone's.
You think she's next though?
I think she is next. I just feel like she's a tier. I'm already disagreeing with myself. Talk to me what you think is so good about Claren.
Okay, I'm a Claren player. I'm a Claren addict. I love this character so much. I probably have around 150 hours in this character already across the beta and the demo. This character, like, the disjoint is insane. This character has some really good fucking moves. Like, all the tilts are really insane, and I'm guilty of abusing the worst one, which is up tilt somehow. But even then, it's like huge. It covers both sides. You can anti-air with it. It kill confirms into up air, and it's true. Like, this character, I think, is really fast and slippery, so it can be really clean playing around you, but also has the tools to get up close and really brawl with, like, Nair is so good in scramble situations, and, like, jab and down tilt are so good in scramble situations. If you get tippered, you fucking die. And if you get grabbed, dude, I'm working on a Claren guide right now, and I just finished, like, the grab game section.
Oh my god.
The
grab like 50-50 is fucked up because, like,
dude, it's not a 50-50.
Well, no. What I mean,
you're fucked.
Like, if you choose to, like, counter with special to not get put into tipper stun, like, then that's great. But then if you get neutral pummeled, then you can just combo the throws into anything anyways.
I think the pummel, which I outlined this and my guide is secret tech. I think you always want to be clicking special pummel because it is always worth getting neutral pummeled, taking 8% than getting special pummeled and dying at like 45. It's so, and the real kicker is that she doesn't even need it, that she still has forward throw and back throw into tipper F strong on pretty much every character from anywhere. If you run out of stage, it's actually better because then they fall down and you get the front hit of the tipper. It's like really crazy and boggles my mind that they gave this character such a punishing grab game. The tipper's great. The down B plays matchups for you. It's the neutral B is broken. Jab is broken. Thank God. This is a singing the praises of floor hugging. Thank God you can floor hug, crouch cancel, tipper jab, and then just get put into knockdown or don't get launched. Otherwise, you're fucked every single time. And it's like, I think very highly of this character.
I've returned. I think have convinced me. I was looking for this Claren montage on Twitter, but I couldn't find it. I think you've convinced me.
Is the Ranganchu one?
I do not remember, honestly. But I think you've convinced me. I think Claren can go up there with Zetter. I would be unsurprised if we think Claren's better than Zetterburn pretty soon here.
Just so impressive.
Really,
everyone hates fighting her.
And then like we've seen some very high level Clarens make some nice results. Ranganchu, Boyko, Stango even.
Yeah.
Claren's really good. Now here's things get a lot murkier here.
Yeah.
But I know what I want.
Okay.
And that's
I know what I want.
That's my wild dog Orcane.
Yikes.
That's my guy.
Yikes. Okay. This tier can be Yeah.
I think
talk to why do you think Orcane is,
in a word,
this good?
Marlin. In a few more words, I think him being able to do approaches with like turnaround sliding with shield is very strong, especially against characters with a lot of disjoint or projectiles like Claren. It's something I've been trying to implement and failing into my own gameplay. I also think the way he can play around ledge is so good. Being able to use intangible nairs and just like spam those that send backwards.
His get up attack is crazy.
His get up attack as well. It's like such a safe option where you can just like, if your opponent doesn't go to ledge, they go up, then you just get up attack and then oops, they're back off stage. He's so good. I think his back air also incredible. Like you can, if you nair someone off the ledge, then you can fair, you can go for back air, you can nair just like again if you wanted to.
Yeah.
He has a very good combo game, not quite as good as like some of the S tiers or S pluses, but I think he's very strong. I think his strong attacks themselves are really powerful. Down strong, especially for getting people like recovering from below, but also just like being able to the hydro slide is or hydroplane rather is extremely valuable. I think he's got a lot going for him.
I think he does. I think being able to combo the puddle projectile into like dashing up and smash attacking is pretty good. But at the end of the day, I really don't think he has anything that anyone else doesn't. Like, I don't think these are strengths. I think he lacks. I think these are just things a character needs. Like, I know you've seen a lot of the invincible nairs. Like, wait until you watch a fucking Loxodont play, and they get invincible Loxodont back air off ledge. And it's like every character has tools like these. I just don't. So there's a couple characters that could go this spot. It could be Orcane.
I think this is like we were saying where things get interesting.
Yeah.
I think we can have.
I like Fleet.
I do also really like Fleet. I'm gonna like just temporarily put these three here.
Because
my biggest concern about Fleet is just how it feels like she had her matchup with Claren is like by far the worst matchup in the game.
But like people don't even know why, and I tried to figure it out. And Wisely says it's the down B, and
I don't think it's the down B.
It's not the down B.
I
like
think
the down B is good,
like,
but it's not that. That's
bar
not
for
why.
bar, just like kind of like Claren just kind of outranges Fleet at everything she tries to do.
I don't. So I don't even think it's. I think it's like +1 Claire, and I think it's one of the only matchups that's like definitive
Yeah,
+1. But it's like not winnable. It's for sure like
it's
Fleet.
not unwinnable.
Fleet is so. Fleet excels off stage, and that is where Claren is the weakest. Like
That's a
can
great
really take
point. I think
advantage of that.
Fleet off stage is extremely oppressive. And I think to just briefly talk about Rano, I think he's a character I want to see more Rano. Um, I
Yeah.
don't feel like I've seen enough of him to have like a fully formed opinion. He just to me feels very solid all around.
Yeah.
Um, I can't think of any major strength or weakness that comes to mind when I think about Rano right now.
Yeah. So he has some of the most consistent schmixy movement in the game.
I think he
Um,
has the most sauce out of any character.
yeah, he's definitely saucy. People argue, Sentinels mentioned saucy, and he definitely has like these moments where you're like, this character's for babies that are gnawing on a binky. Um,
I wouldn't
like
say that personally.
for sure. I've seen people say much less kind words about
Mhm.
Rano players. I just haven't seen that much. I believe that he's
Yeah.
beating everyone's ass on ranked right now.
Mhm.
But these other characters seem to have an X factor about them that can't be replicated from like a Rano reaction tech chasing you in
Yeah.
50 ping. You know,
I
it's
think
like
this Rano feels to me like Rivals 1 Fours does, where there's like nothing that feels particularly crazy about him, but I could see him winning, you know, every
yeah,
tournament ever for the
he's
rest of the
good.
time.
No, he's
He's
for
good. He's
sure.
very
He's
good.
good. He's for sure good.
Um,
His up B goes so far. I think about that every time I play against him. Like if you think about his Rivals 1 to Rivals 2 up B like
yeah.
transformation, holy, that hit is generous. You go slopping straight up. You like ride the stage up. It's fun. He
I
has like bubble confirms. You can kill pretty consistently,
I
pretty early,
just
very tricky.
recovery is a little punishable, but like it also requires
For
your
sure.
opponent to know the mix that you're going for. But even then, like there's a lot they can do to react. Like we were talking about Arcane. I think Arcane can very easily just by having normal get up or normal ledge attack, whatever it's
Yeah.
called, can just kind of like cover a lot of what Rano tries to do.
Yeah.
I'd be comfortable with the list we have now. I personally don't rate Fleet as highly as you do.
Dude, it's like
Um,
not even that high. I used to think she was like top 3. So
that's crazy.
I don't know how you can when you lose against Fleet, it's like whoa, I'm getting my ass beat and I can't do anything. Her moves are so good. She has really good throws for positioning to get people off stage where she thrives the most, which with her
Mhm.
float, which is an absolutely broken thing. I definitely think she's gotten worse as people figure out how to actually play the
Yeah,
game. But like the ribbon confirms are sick and like not unfeasible to hit. Um, the movement's nice. B-Bats does so much with the down B flip kick movement. It's really nice to
yes, that has
see.
been. I think BBats has like the best down Bs out of any
It's
Fleet.
really good.
Like
They're really good.
he's got some stuff that like Cake's very fundamentally strong, but I think BBats has some very interesting stuff for the Fleet. So I like this.
The edge
For
guarding is
our
so dude. Sometimes you get hit off stage and you just
yeah,
die
my
and you don't
character
even
has a
get a
puddle, so
choice.
I don't really care.
You don't even get a
Um,
choice. It's crazy.
it's messed up.
Yeah.
I like this. I like this. I think you've convinced me on Fleet above Arcane, and then it's fairly interchangeable within this tier. I want to save fours for last
Okay.
because honestly, I don't
Okay.
know where the fuck to put fours.
Then do Crag next to Rano and then locks in
Yeah,
B tier.
I feel fine about this. Can I be real with
Yeah.
you?
Hmm.
I don't really know what makes Locks like the worst character because like you've seen a lot of people have like played some pretty close games with him. Um, I like watching Soul Rifle a lot. Play Locks. He's a guy we didn't mention
Yeah.
in the
Oh
power
yeah.
rankings. I think specifically because he's playing Locks, he just hasn't been able to do much.
But he has.
He's
He's good.
big. I mean, he has, yes, he has,
He's
but like
top
not
8 at a
enough to
major.
really.
Yeah.
Breach.
Loxodon. Okay, so here's the scoop.
Yeah, give me the scoop.
It has to do with pretty much 3 main things. One is the character's attributes. So this character is big. Of course, the ears and tusks not having hitboxes or hurt boxes is great for him. Makes it a little bit trickier, but he's pretty big. He's pretty easy, especially
I think
yeah.
he's also the heaviest character in the game now. I think as of the
Really?
demo patch, I think he got put just above. I think him and Crag swapped places.
Really?
I think.
He
I could double
needs it.
check that right now while you talk more.
Yeah. So Lox has really impressive tools at a distance, like magma armor. So what it boils down to, a large part of it is the shield, and a second part of it is needing magma, and a third part of it is his recovery. So
Yeah, his recovery
you're getting hit
is
and comboed a lot. You're
rough.
floaty, so you're dying giga early, like off the top and shit. You're big. Your recovery is bad. It's the easiest like to parry. It's very exploitable because you can pretty much always know when he needs to side B to the wall and whatnot. He gets giga farmed off stage by pretty much every character.
I think Lox Fleet might actually be the worst matchup.
It's possible, and
it might not be
Fleet. Yes,
Claren.
It's a yes. It's crazy. Lox gets abused. His out of shield is really bad. If you cross up this character on shield and land behind them, he can't do a fucking thing. It's hilarious, honestly. It's pathetic. Like you cross him up with a dash attack or you land behind him. There's nothing he can do because he can't shield grab you, which is like probably his fastest shit. Like his aerials aren't that fast.
I try it whenever I have played Lox. I try to use his Nair in situations where I like, oh, this feels like it should work, and then like it just a little
doesn't.
slow, and it just doesn't work.
It just doesn't have that quality to it that a lot of other things have.
What do you think they could do to potentially bring Lox into a more stronger state?
Dude, I think he's destined to be dog shit. I think he's destined. Like, I'm being so serious because you can't like make him smaller. That's weird. You can't.
He's a big elephant.
Like, you could make him heavier, but that doesn't help because then he gets.
I did check him. He is now the heaviest. He's a weight of 112, up from 110. Crag opposite. 112 down to 110 as of the demo patch.
Yeah. He's always going to get abused off stage as long as this game exists. There's nothing they can do to really change that. The thing is that
his
a lot of his
options.
A lot of his heavy win cons, they could make it so that you charge magma over time instead of having to get it from the ground, which would be really hard. A lot of his win conditions being stuck behind magma, which against like more oppressive matchups like Fleet and Maple, like you don't get time to do.
You don't get to just stand in one place for long enough.
And it's like cool. I stood in one place. I shot my meatball. I got my side B off to ledge. Now I get to have one more recovery mix up on the worst recovery in the game. It's like not that great. It's great for his kill power. Eruption confirms are super sick. They're super potent. They're one of the better things about him. But I think that the fact that he needs magma for his win con when every other character can just kill you is like really tough. His smash attacks are really good. That's a thing that people don't talk about enough. His strong attacks, especially with the magma, are really good.
Yeah.
But it's all these things where it's like, okay, if you make magma like so much better that it affects how good he is, that sucks. That character becomes so toxic and broken.
Yeah, he already there is definitely times where Loxodons can feel very oppressive to play against. Which is like I've heard a lot of people talking about Loxodons on ladder being very difficult to play against, but like he just doesn't seem to have as high a ceiling as pretty much any other character in the game.
Yeah, I think the like light at the end of the tunnel for all of this is like Loxodon is still not a bad character.
Yeah.
This character is one of the most represented characters in like these Wi-Fi brackets. Has a lot of really great reps like Soul Rifle and Sparks and
who
Evil
is probably
Nardwar.
the number 2 Rivals of Aether 1 player. I would
Yeah.
argue he won the last Genesis.
He's so good. He's so good.
He's very good, but like, and he's picking Lux and over Maple.
Yeah, right.
He's literally picking the worst character over the best one who he mained Rebels 1. That's not uncommon that we see like players switching over, but
like
yeah,
Lux, he just doesn't have it in him inherently to be an S plus tier character, but he's still very good. He's still represented, still making waves. You're still probably going to lose to a Loxodon in bracket at some point in your life. Definitely has some stuff, just a little bit less accessible and potent than a lot of the other cast. We skipped over Crag.
We just skip over Crag. Crag's just like pretty good all around. I could see him being higher than this, but he also gets beat up pretty easily. His recovery's not bad by any means. But I think
there's a reason he's the only
average.
character. There's a reason he's the only character that can wall jump out of his up B, and it's because he needs it. Because he's kind of sucks. He's kind of like he's a fast faller and the biggest character in the game, so he gets comboed by everyone. I think a lot of his more potent stuff, like the cargo stuff, can be very 50-50 like, even though like you know inevitably you're going to lose those 50s and it's going to have its effect. I think the character all around doesn't have the consistent tools to be doing it like everyone above him does. I think he's a very noob killer character that is still very good, and like ZB putting in God's work.
Yeah, you know? I think like ZB, he makes him look like he has that kill power. And I think I don't know if I necessarily agree. I think Crag, I could definitely see being high, but I think a lot of it comes to the fact that he can just get beaten up by pretty much everyone in the cast.
Yeah, he gets farmed.
He gets farmed.
He gets Giga farmed, yeah.
Now that leaves us with Forsborn, who we haven't really gotten to see very much of.
Yeah.
We have a lot of very differing opinions on him. A lot of players from Smash, I feel like generally rating him low.
Yeah.
A lot of players in Rivals 1 at the time did, but now are rating him a bit more highly. I think it feels like the general consensus is that he's low, but I think this character could be very strong.
I think he could be strong. I think Smashers don't think he's strong because he doesn't have a baby move, but like then you discover he secretly does, and it's called Combust and Super Clone. Combust is an insane move. It's a disgusting move. Strong. It is so strong. You get hit by it and you're like, fuck, I died?
I died? I was in the middle of the stage.
What?
And now I'm dead.
It's crazy.
It is wild. I think all the changes that they've done to how his clone works in this game compared to Rivals 1 give him just so much room for creativity. I really want to play Force. I don't think I touched him in the demo simply because he looked too difficult for me.
Yeah.
So
he's hard. He's very hard.
He's hard. Like, so you have the option to choose like which side's the clone, and then of course that has these other options where like throwing his side B you can now throw.
Yeah.
Which you can choose to be either the one thrown or the one off stage. What's up?
What did you mean by that when you said you can now choose which side of the clone you are?
I think I was getting at the recovery bit.
Okay, because you could always do.
You could do
that in Rivals 1.
Yeah, but it's got a lot. What I was trying to get at is it's got a lot more. You can do a lot more with that in this game with the refreshing side B. I think it is to send it, and then also the ledge special.
Dude, he has one of the sickest ledge specials. Like for sure,
so good.
It's like. It's good because you can pick which one to be. So you have to like position yourself to be ready to punish one of them. It's very hard to cover both or react. And so it just creates this devious 50-50 that he's so good at creating.
Mm-hmm.
He's good. He's strong. I think his F strong 1, the cape, dude, the size of it is huge. I'm getting easily outspaced as Claren. Like it's bigger than Claren F tilt. It's massive, and it just brings you in, gets you right into his zone.
Some kill confirms that you can do with clone and up tilt 1 or up strong 1.
Can you bring up his reveal trailer and go to the very last clip?
Yeah, let me
bodying Zetterburn for like 30 seconds.
Also, yeah, sick lore. The character has sick lore.
Yeah. Very good lore.
The last clip.
Probably before the
yeah.
screen. Yeah, it's that. Yeah. Super clone is sick.
Brother,
Super clone is so
you
good.
can't see
this character's very hard. He can kind of get fucked up by throw canceling and stuff like that.
Real quick.
Yeah.
I didn't know what this was, and I played against a fours at Coinbox, and I was like, "What the fuck just happened to me?"
Yeah. It's a sick forward.
Yeah,
it's sick. Up air is a super good tool. Obviously, this CPU is set to DI and everything, or not everything, but like this is not a crazy clip. It just like, oh man, they really staged a guy bodying a guy.
Yeah,
seems good.
Choreo.
I think he's a good character.
Now, Matt, hear me out.
Yeah.
Now is our chance. The game's not out yet. Not a bunch of people doing tier lists. Now is our chance to make a bold prediction, and it can either pay off, or it can not pay off, and then who cares?
Okay.
I think we got to put fours right at the top, not the very top, but like up there.
Dude, what if he's?
What do we put fours in top 3?
No, dude, I think dude, I like that.
I think it's
really like
possible.
that.
It's extremely possible.
I really like that.
I think it
like,
could be really good.
What's bad about Force Burn? He's hard, so sometimes you can't kill your opponent. You're like, no, my character's bad, but it's because you're bad. In that moment, his recovery is like kind of mid because getting smoke off stage is a lot harder than it was in Rivals 1. But like it's still possible. It still happens, especially if you get a special
and when it does
pummel.
happen, it's really good.
It's good. The clone side B helps so much. Yeah, he just kind of like runs at you, and if you fucked up by accident, you're like, no, I lost forever. His grab game kind of sucks. No, dude, chill on that.
No, but like if we're right though.
No, chill on that. Top 3.
Okay.
Because top 3 is believable.
Top 3 is already crazy.
That's bogus. That's bogus. If you
top 3 is
think
already crazy. Yeah, but Raster would be too crazy.
Yeah. So his grab game kind of sucks. But like, you know, whatever.
No, I think I like this tier list.
I like it too. Do you want to give it a seal of approval?
I still feel like Fleet maybe could be too high. But also Fleet's really good.
I don't know how you can say that. Yeah.
There you go. Again. So I think if I am correct here. That brings us to the first segment of its kind, hopefully of many. Those of you familiar with other shows, perhaps it might be know them for their awards at the end. And over here, we're no different. Not sure when the next episode of this show will be. Whenever that is, it will be over on YouTube channel that is linked in the description. Right now, this first episode is just going to be on this channel here, but the VOD for this and all future episodes are going to be on Wrong Tree Fighters down in the description. But without further ado, let's bring out Mender's Monthly Medal.
Mender's Monthly Medal. It's Mender's Monthly Medal. Woo! Okay. So it's the first Mender's Monthly Medal. And I think the recipient is going to be none other than Dan Fernacey himself.
Wow.
And as an extension,
congrats.
Aether Studios as a whole, they really, it's, I thought about it a lot. It feels really silly to give it to Dan, the first one for his game.
Yeah.
But I started to think about it more. Listen, this is a really good fucking game. Aether Studios is a very good studio. They've worked in multiple genres of games very successfully. Dan's creative vision and ability to call the shots on like what he wants to have happen. Like he decides a lot of the order the characters are coming back.
Yep.
Like I think this is a very good starting 10. He's the shot caller. He started out making Rivals 1, and I think his vision has served himself, his studio, and the community around it very well. He makes a lot of really hype, but also responsible decisions. Sick character designs. I think that is a massive selling point for Rivals 2 is that like casual players can pick up this game, like look at a guy that they think is sick, and they are super sick.
Every character in this game has sauce. It was the same way in Rivals 1, and it's just like one of the biggest appeals for me, someone who didn't play Smash, who got into Rivals just because like every character had something cool they could do. And I think Dan and the team, there's so much reason to be excited about this game. There's so many reasons to be excited about this game. There are so many reasons why like every Smash Pro is excited about this game.
Yeah.
Not just the character design, the game balance is good. We talked about how the lowest tier in our tier list was B tier, and that's the same thing in Rivals 1. The balance team is so good. They listen to their community, and they're not beholden to shareholders. They are beholden to the community, and they will reach out for feedback. They want to support your local scene. They want to support events. I think this team is really just incredible, and I couldn't think of anyone more deserving of Mender's the first Mender's monthly medal.
I think there's so much to be said about a community for a plat fighter that wants to give the game so much money and so much success because we all believe in it. Like this is really, it's an incredible game. It's an incredible opportunity for a lot of people sort of all coming together. Like PM was not in the limelight in the past 10 years. Like, and now these sick ass players can come express themselves in this game. It's so sick. He like Dan, he's down to do stuff that's cool and hilarious. Like the tetherball mode is really funny. Lovers of Aether is he did for no reason. Like that's valuable money to be spending on making your actual awesome game that is really awesome. He believes in the power of community. He believes in the esport. It's insane for like an indie studio to sink this many resources into like an esport scene like this.
And they've done it for years with the RCS.
Yeah.
And it's only going to get better now that they've also partnered with Off-Brand. I think Off-Brand is a very similar company where they just want to do cool things, and they listen to the community and the people around them. I'm so excited for what the future of this game.
Like Dan's done like one bad thing ever, and it's like make Maple
even think
in
of
Rivals 2. You know, it's
you
make
even
Maple.
Think of one. Okay,
no,
okay.
Listen. Because he mains Maple in Rivals 2 and made her absurdly broken and was like, I'm dunking on all the players at Genesis.
Essentially, it has been his philosophy for every new character.
It's
like self-admittedly, which I think is based personally. But I think with that,
one more round of applause for Dan Fernacey.
Congrats to Dan Fernacey.
You did it. We'll ship you a medal.
We won't.
The Mender's monthly medal. So
we'll hand it to you. If we ever work at an event.
Dan, we're gonna find you, and
Dan,
you're gonna receive my award. Okay.
Your medal.
But that just about does it for the DashBack episode 1.
For the first DashBack, thank you everyone for joining us who joined. Our goal with this is to just get everyone more connected and like more involved or more interested in the Rivals 2 as a game and as the competitive scene. I think this game has so much promise, like we were just talking about, and I really hope to see it succeed. And if we can like help that success, that would be a dream come true.
Yeah, 100%. I'm dedicated to this game. I love it. It's super sick. Garrett and I were commentators for Valorant that are like looking to jump ship because we believe in this game. This game is super sick.
Well, more like two ships at once.
Yeah, two double.
We're trying to double ship it.
Okay, yeah.
Hashtag double ship it. Hashtag bark up.
Hashtag bark up. That's that's good.
That's it. All right. Well, thank you
That's
everyone for
good.
watching. Hopefully,
see
we'll
you
see you in the
around.
next one, wherever that may be.
Bye.